Well, here we are. Hey everyone, my name is Lauren and welcome back to Skeptic She. It has been a long time and I am very happy to be back. And today I want to do something a little bit more personal. I want to talk about some of the more challenging experiences I've had since deconverting, and I'm going to read from my blog again. That seems to be a good format. So with that, here we go. It is Friday evening. I am exhausted. I'm gonna try to make this pretty quick because I want to go take a bubble bath, eat some dinner, and just veg the heck out. But it has been way too long since I've filmed, so gotta get her done. As usual, when I read off of my blog post, if you would like to follow along, I will be posting a link in the description. Here we go. The worst and best parts of deconverting. I have been an atheist for about 5 years and a couple weeks now. Happy heathenversary. And while every former theist experience with deconversion is different, I want to talk about why mine made life difficult in ways that I really wasn't expecting. So first of all, I want to make it clear that I am not talking about this to garner any sort of sympathy. I'm not suggesting either that I miss being Christian. I certainly don't. I only want to bring attention to the fact that lacking belief in a God doesn't inherently make life a breeze. A lot of atheists, myself included, are accused of taking the easy way out, only looking for comfort and more opportunities to sin by not accepting God claims. In my observation, this is wholly untrue for the vast majority of us heathens, myself included. I've already gone in depth on why belief is not a choice, and I never thought that I would stop believing in the Christian God. I fought off doubts about his existence for years until I simply couldn't anymore. With that said, being Christian made my life drastically easier in two important areas. At least that's how I felt about it in my initial years of deconversion. We're only 5 minutes in, this is going to be a really short video. During my formative years, I had very traumatic experiences, as have many people regardless of their beliefs. For example, I was bullied throughout childhood. Kids can be really cruel, especially Catholic kids, right? I was bullied throughout childhood, went through multiple family deaths in a row, got in a bad car accident, and dealt with a couple of rough breakups. Who hasn't? I have also had high anxiety for as long as I can remember, as well as major depressive disorder that wasn't diagnosed until several years after leaving Christianity. But through the worst of the worst, I always felt I had Jesus to protect me in the end, and that he would ultimately show me why I had to go through all of this. There was an underlying purpose to every bad event, and one more reason to keep Christ close. Since deconverting, I no longer hold the comforting illusion of an all-powerful and personal God to fall back on at my lowest points. And frankly, that's been a very hard reality to accept. When I say it's been a hard reality to accept, that mostly applies to my initial months and maybe first couple years of deconverting. Now it's gotten a lot better, but I'll go into it a little bit more here. However, here's the but. I now understand that when I've pulled through the worst times in my life, it's been because of my family, friends, and myself. I have every reason to believe that humans got me through from the day I was born, not God. I have learned to find tangible solutions that no longer involve prayer, tithing, church attendance, binging relatable sermons, or racking my brain for what possible masochistic lesson Jesus wants me to learn from the bad times. I want to make a side note here, and maybe I'll make a video about this at some point. I just really don't want to get in the realm of character attacks about people from my past or really anyone. But another funny thing that happened in high school was when I was in band class, every time we had a performance, we were told at the beginning, we would do a group prayer, and then we were told, if any of those parents out there or your siblings or anyone compliments you on your performance, don't accept it. Give that compliment to God, because he is the reason that you have the gift and the talent that you have. And in hindsight, that is just so insulting and condescending and demeaning. Now, I don't doubt that my band instructor was coming from a good place, but a very ignorant place and ultimately harmful place. I'm still working on that. I'm still working on being okay with taking credit for the creative gains that I've made over the years, and for the music that I have released and the videos I've released, just anything creative that I've done. I'm still working on taking credit for all of that. So the second part of this has to do with relationships. Something else I could always count on as a Christian, which I mentioned in my video about why women are more religious than men, was community. As soon as I left my safe haven of private Christian schooling to attend a public university, I was immediately able to find a regular church, Bible studies and other Christian gatherings where most everyone became instant friends with me and welcomed me with open arms. I knew that we regulars would see each other on a frequent basis and that we were building each other up for what we saw as something much bigger than ourselves, eternal salvation through Christ. But once I deconverted, the initial excitement and freedom of leaving religion became clouded by the loss of some of my closest Christian friends who didn't know how to relate to me anymore. Even if I had kept every single one of my Christian friends, I could no longer immerse myself in the immediate familiarity and reliability of my core social circles through church and other Christian fellowship. I took for granted that I would always see the same friends in the same places as we worshipped the same God for eternity. Technically, I could have continued attending church and Bible studies to stay in those communities, and I could have kept leading worship at the church I was getting paid to lead worship at. Thankfully, that wasn't my sole source of income. But I could have kept doing that. However, that would have felt contrary to my integrity, and I suspect it would have led to a cycle of arguments, proselytizing, and resentment from my Christian friends. I now know that every friend I've kept, Christian or not, has remained because we genuinely enjoy each other's company and character. I will be the first to admit that it can truly suck having to pull all of my heathen weight in seeking new friendships outside of the church. But it gives me hope to remember how many cool humans I've met through simply doing what I enjoy, whether that's music, YouTube, or hiking with my local atheist meetup groups, just as a few examples. In spite of how challenging it's been, utilizing real evidence-based solutions to deal with my mental health issues and find new social circles has allowed me to become much more creative and willing to branch out again, putting the talents I worked so hard to develop back into the world. I never needed God's help to get through the lowest lows, whether I was a 10-year-old Catholic, a 20-year-old evangelical, or a nearly 30-year-old atheist. And I'm now much more capable of embracing a shit happens mentality when bad things happen without any apparent cause or purpose, like when someone develops cancer or when one person loses their house in a tornado but their neighbors don't. It's perfectly okay that not everything happens for a reason. It's also okay if you do end up learning something from an apparently meaningless bad event, and do what you can to prevent it from happening again. That is a healthy and normal response. Ultimately, I would rather be navigating uncomfortable realities with demonstrably reliable solutions and critical thinking, instead of settling into comfortable illusions of heaven and perfection. But to any believers who might say, but God gave you the family and friends and doctors who got you through, He gave you the teachers who taught you everything that you now know. He gave you your creativity, your brain, He gave you everything. To that, I respectfully ask, how do you know? Why not cut out the middleman and take care of each other, because that's what reasonable humans do. Faith does not provide, not even for the most basic needs. People do. That is all I have on that post. I did want to say thank you so much to my new subscribers. Somehow I am almost at 100 subscribers, even though I've done virtually no promotion of this channel. So I want to thank you so much. And to other smaller YouTubers that I've been connecting with, I totally support you and I appreciate your support in return. And with that, I want to hear from you. Do you like this format where I write a blog post and then read off of it? Winging it has never been my thing. I'm a huge planner and an organization nerd, so having it all laid out really helps. Do you like that format? Are there any particular topics you would like me to touch on more? Maybe what you haven't seen enough of on other skeptic and atheist channels. With all of that said, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Like this video, hit that notification bell, share this video with your friends, keep asking questions, and I will see you next time.